you, dear Dr. Sangeet. Thank you for the kind words. But a subspecialty like this, the day could not have been complete without your involvement, Sangeet, and the involvement of all the other speakers. So I'm going to speak on pseudophakic cystoid macular edema. So what is pseudophakic cystoid macular edema, or CME? Retinal thickening of the macula due to disruption of the normal blood retinal barrier. And this causes leakage from the perifoveal retinal capillaries and accumulation of fluid, classically in the outer plexiform layer and the intercellular spaces of the retina. This is the definition of CME. And when this fluid accumulates, the visual loss occurs from retinal thickening and fluid collection, which distorts the architecture of the photoreceptors. So how will it appear to the patient? The patient classically complains of decrease in visual acuity, which is gradual and painless, loss of contrast sensitivity and color vision after cataract surgery. There may be metamorphopsia, which can be demonstrated on Amsler grid. There may be micropsia and central scotoma. Popularly known as, referred to as Irvine-Gass syndrome, the inflammatory, it is attributed to the inflammatory process occurring in up to 20% of the eyes post cataract extraction and IOL implantation. Only about 1% of those affected actually have clinically significant decrease in visual acuity. But if the cataract surgery has been eventful, that is, it has had complications like a PCR, then the figure can go as high as 20 to 25%. It is classically seen about 6 weeks post-operatively. And mind you, 95% of CMEs due to Irvine-Gass resolved spontaneously. So the clinical diagnosis, is best seen on slit lamp biomicroscopy, where you can use a 90D or a 78D to look at the macula and look at the classical petalloid pattern. You can do a color fundus photography, and what it will show is the intraretinal cysts within the foveal region of the macula. So something like this, as you can see in the center, a collection of cysts in a radiating fashion. Fundus fluorescein angiography, although it is not routinely done in all cases, will show in the early phases capillary dilatation in the perifoveal region. And in the late phases, it will show what is a book picture. This is a petalloid pattern of the edema in the outer plexiform layer. And the petalloid pattern, as we all know, is because of the radiating Henle's layer in which is there in the perifoveal region. The fluorescein angiography may also show smokestack pattern, and one may also see late staining of the optic disc. But more importantly than FFA, it is the optical coherence tomography, or OCT, which plays an important role in diagnosis, follow-up, and prognosticating CME. It measures the retinal thickening and depicts the intraretinal cysts. And it may also show the coexisting vitreomacular traction or epiretinal membranes, which could be actually the etiological factor for the CME. One must remember other differentials. We have already seen in this particular session discussions on macular telangiectasia, X-linked juvenile retinoschisis, a macular BRVO, either a fresh or an old macular BRVO, a chronic CSR, or even a choroidal neovascular membrane like the RAP lesion. These are all pathologies which may masquerade as a post-operative pseudophakic CME. Now, this was like this, for instance. Now, this, if you just look at the OCT, it looks like a CME. In fact, this patient was referred to me because the referring surgeon had taken only a scan through the fovea. Probably had not given attention to seeing the fundus. But if you look at it, it is actually a fresh macular BRVO, which probably might have occurred 2 or 3 months post cataract surgery. And this is a macular BRVO and not a pseudophakic CME. Coming to the management, primarily the management is medical. Like I said, most of these CMEs resolve spontaneously if the cataract surgery has been uneventful. Management would depend on, of course, the underlying etiology. Like if there is an epiretinal membrane or vitreomacular traction, then that will have to be dealt with. CME is usually self-limiting, but what I prefer to start the patient is on NSAIDs. And if the CME persists, then go to steroids, injections, or surgical therapy. So topical management, ketorolac, nepafenac, and bromfenac twice or thrice a day over a period of 4 to 6 weeks is the initial line of treatment. If not responding to NSAIDs, you can along with NSAIDs, you can add steroids like prednisolone, difluprednate, or loteprednol, about 3 or 4 times a day. When topicals do not work over a period of 4 to 6 weeks, then the next line of treatment would be obviously giving injections. It can be given, you can give periocular subtenance triamcinolone, which works equally well. Or if one is, is experienced with intravitreal injections, one can go with intravitreal triamcinolone or Ozurdex. Mind you, when you shift to these periocular steroids, you have to look for secondary glaucoma. So this is typically how a CME would, behave. Here you can see with topical steroid, this CME worsened. But with intravitreal steroids, you can see the same CME resolving, little bit of subretinal fluid also resolving over time. Surgery, if there are coexistent pathologies, one may need to do vitrectomy to remove the epiretinal membrane. I don't really have much experience, but there is a talk of doing Nd:YAG laser vitreolysis to relieve tractional components such as vitreous adhesions in the iris. This may help resolve the CME, or one may even resort to a triamcinolone assisted anterior vitrectomy by the limbal route to relieve the vitreous traction and hence relieve the CME. So to conclude, pseudophakic CME is an important cause of mild painless loss of vision post cataract surgery. One must look for whether cataract surgery was accompanied by PCR or vitreous loss. OCT is very important from as a diagnostic tool. Mind you, CME is self-limiting and may spontaneously resolve. But if it doesn't, then it will require topical or periocular steroids, and chronic edema may cause permanent photoreceptor damage if left untreated. Thank you.